kill participation this entire year. That is outstanding. This team cannot operate without River creating the action. So getting the first picks in for him after the Jarvan has been banned away is big. I always personally think of Trundle as my favorite counter into Xin, though there are personal favorites. Viego also quite nice for being able to reset and take over team fights. Also inspired being known for that champion. Another viable possibility. I do also like prioritizing Karma over leaving Caitlyn up, because Karma is so good into Caitlyn. This is basically how you play against the Caitlyn lanes, is when you have Karma to have these mantra Qs to take over wave control, take it back into your possibility of controlling. Yeah. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed by Caitlyn Lux, which, by the way, is a little bit nerfed on this patch as far as the scaling AD damage.
Yep, Caitlyn Lux, always one of those strong poke lanes. They have so much range, so much ability to dictate the state of things. We'll see how well the Jinx and the Karma are able to fight back. The response here in the jungle, we will have mirrored first picks across the first half of the draft, bot lanes and junglers. It's Olaf for Inspired. How do you feel about this one into that Xin matchup in particular?
It's a similar ideology to my Trundle ideology, except that the Trundle also has the safety factor of being able to do the ranged pillar and sometimes get out the ultimate or get out summer spills up the Xin. But Olaf just goes red smite, fights the Xin. You can duel him, and plus you're picking your Olaf after you've already secured your Karma, your Enchanter, to secure a smooth mid stage of the game for your Olaf. So you're not just playing off of early game and then gonna fall off. You're going to have a lot easier way to play in 5-on-5s with that giant AoE and speed up. But now we're looking at the solo lanes as we jump into the bans following it up, because as is so common, both bottom lanes and jungles picked up here early. And now it just comes down to these solo lanes whittling away. Speaking of champion skew, because it is such a hot topic,
Rise.
Jojo has been, Rise has been one of the most banned champions, but Jojo as an individual player has both a high game count, but also an insanely high win count. He has over 70% win count, which is the highest percentage, win percentage for, I believe it was top 9 or 10 players as far as game count. So he has been putting in the work, and he has been racking up the dubs there as well. Really like to see, he's still grinding away. The young North American talent also putting in a lot of the work. So I'm curious to see what he's going to get whittled down to here. One more of these mid lane bans left to come out.
These Fortnite kids are just built different. You love to see it. Like, oh my goodness. We got Nautilus banned out here. So they're going to take that one off the table, predicting a possibility of a role swap from the Karma.
Exactly. The Karma is flexible, can do the roaming top solo lane style. Could even just be stuck in a solo lane as a normal solo laner, but they're covering their bases there, expecting the possibility.
All right, EG, what are we going to go here? Yep, Corki. Now remember, this is Corki that has nerfs on the package timers. More difficult for Corki to be able to have those for every dragon fight. The first one doesn't come online for a Rift Herald that is rushed on spawn as well, so a little bit less impact in terms of those neutral objectives, but still going to be very powerful. The poke is still, what's a nice way to say this? Unreasonable once it gets to a certain level.
Yeah, it's unchanged. It was not changed at all. The only nerfs on 12.3, which is the patch we are currently on, changing to for the LCS now for pro play, is that they did move that package back to 10 minutes. So Rift Herald spawns at 8 minutes, so you have a full 2 minutes to try and play around Rift Herald before Corki gets packaged. And then they made, as you're saying, the continued stacking for dragons more difficult, because it's a full 5-minute timer instead of the 4-minute timer for the extra leeway on a minute there. So yes, big changes to the package for the objective timing for Corki, but otherwise left unchanged. And so you are going to have that long-range harassment possibility.
He'll be playing into an Ahri here in the mid lane on Dignitas. It'll be Blue piloting that one. Renekton is the final pick for the top lane, and what that means, Mr. Kobe, is that Renekton is a poor answer to the roaming smite support style. He's not a super great split pusher. He doesn't have amazing scaling. He's going to have to deal with the fact that that's a top lane Karma, and she might as well be taking that smite.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's also not a super quick tower taker, even though you have one auto attack reset, so maybe FakeGod will take Demolish here and try and get that tower down quickly. That's one of the big timers you immediately look at when you're trying to play into these comps, trying to get that first tower down very quickly so you can try and leverage that gold lead across the map, and your bottom side of the map won't hemorrhage so much. But EG, as we said, the Karma Olaf is a dream combination.
Yes, sir.
And
I love those light shows.
Woo!
I always get excited about those damn light shows. I love them.
it's party time!
All right, it's party time for sure. Now remember, my friends, remember, the team playing the Smite top laner is the team that needs to get things rolling. They must push the pace of the game and get the rest of the squad an advantage.
This is exactly what I was talking about. Go for the level 1, use the power, Olaf axes, backed up with Karma here, get your deep vision so that you can deny the bottom jungle of Dig. Your goal for this EG team is to try and split the map and take away the early power of the Caitlyn plus Lux lane. If Caitlyn plus Lux does not get early CS advantage, does not get turret plate money, then it will be a detriment to your team. This is even more so true on 12.3, where Caitlyn's scaling was further hit. Your attack damage per level that you get is down, and your Q for your wave control is also down.
Now, one thing that I also want to point out here, remind everybody what we're going to be tracking, how we're going to be evaluating this Smite support top strategy. When we look at these things, we're not going to compare Impact versus FakeGod, because Impact is not going to have the same numbers that FakeGod has. Instead, we're going to be looking at FakeGod's numbers versus those of Jojo and Danny. That's who Impact is going to be trying to accelerate. That's who he's going to be playing for, and who he's going to be sacrificing his own power to enable.
Well, and also the jungle. Again, playing that Karma off of this Olaf is going to be a huge part too. So Impact trying to soak up his level 3 up off the top side to get full access to his abilities before he goes into heavy roaming. Engagement on the bottom side, just a little bit of chip damage. Impact, by the way, another little anecdote from Champions Queue, because
what do you got?
Such a fun insight into the pro player meta, because the players are coming off of their scrims and instantly queuing up for Champions Queue, and so you do get some insights into what they've been banning, because they have similar strategies that transfer right on over, and Impact has actually played a bunch of these roaming tops. He has played the Ivern top. There has been an influx of both Pike top roaming as well as Bard. So a lot of different options up there. But this time around should be a lot more straightforward. Inspired, by the way, is clearing down towards this bottom half with the remnants of the deep wards that they left inside the red quadrant of the jungle of Dignitas expiring now. He is going to still have the priority here through the river and camp on this control ward.
And speaking of river, he's clearing out some of his own chickens, just continuing to farm up here nice and early. No scuttle crabs are alive just yet. Inspired, waiting inside that brush like we're talking about, just in case somebody might walk through. You're seeing the recall here from Impact. Impact now has level 3. That is all abilities online. That means I'm expecting we're going to start seeing his presence elsewhere, somewhere other than top lane. Jojo's going to fire off Scryers, so they know that river is clearing Krugs. And honestly, everything's just sort of passively moving forward right now. Nobody's really jumping on the opportunity to make any sort of a big play.
And here's where your opportunity arises, Flowers. It is the recall from Impact. So on reset here from Impact, has the choice of heading off to the other side of the map. It's still a minute ahead of Dragon. Bottom side, though, is getting spicy.
Okay, Neo steps into the chompers there. He knows he has River nearby if they continue trying to chase him, so he wasn't worried about activating that CC. Biofrost used the heal in exchange for Danny's cleanse. One summoner for one summoner. Danny taking a little bit of extra damage there, but now Vulcan's coming in. Zenith Blade finds Biofrost. Danny falling back here yet again. Evil Geniuses underneath the turret. Nothing for River.
And here it is. Impact's made his way down off of the reset. Inspired is topside though, so it looks like Inspired might actually go soak the wave instead of EG forcing the early dragon. This is going to mean that there's going to be a turbocharged Olaf. So they've actually done a very good job mitigating any loss of lane experience, even though they've incorporated the roaming Karma into their strategy. This is going to boost Inspired up to level 5, and then you've still got 20 seconds to try and get back to the other side of the map if you want to keep on timer for dragon stacking here. Meanwhile, the Caitlyn Lux lane has been kind of harassed down here. And so Neo and Biofrost have done a magnificent job of still getting a very good CS lead for themselves, trying to abuse the power of Caitlyn Lux early on. And EG, even though they incorporated the strategy here of the roaming top, have not stymied any of that pushing power early or yet. But this is where you finally bring the power together. Impact trying to stock the backs here.
Nicely done. Making Neo waste that time, takes a little bit of damage back, but he does not care. Impact's job is to be as much of a pain in the butt as possible for everybody on Evil Geniuses except that, or for everybody on Dignitas, excuse me, except that Renekton wants to enable everybody here on Evil Geniuses, and Inspired will be able to take this first Drake very quickly like you were talking about. It's really big, really important to be stacking these Drakes when you're playing the roaming top.
And the thing is here for Evil Geniuses also, even though we're looking very far into the future, they also have very good scaling options for damage later. So they don't have to be hyper focused on continually dragon stacking. It's like we must have this win condition of Dragon Soul or bust because they do have Corki and Jinx. And so with some of the other picks that they've actually picked up for this setup, there's not as much pressure as we've seen in some of the other setups for these laning combinations. So it's going to be very interesting to track here how they use this Karma Olaf to bridge some of the early pressure and balance it into the 2-item Corki Spike and the 2-item Jinx carry for a little bit later on. Getting Dragon number 1 is a very nice step along that road.
But it was Cloud. That means it's not Cloud Soul.
True.
So there's generally going to be plenty of value there. Dignitas still commanding almost a 1,000 gold lead, just about 7 minutes into the game. Nice early leads for them. They grabbed that Scuttle Crab there in the top river too.
All right, let's talk about the Ahri for a little bit here.
Okay.
Unless Impact actually gets a significant, summoner spell burned down on bottom side, because the Ahri is the change Ahri here. This is very nice buffs to Ahri on 12-3, where you can get a reset on your ultimate. Also increase the W damage. Impact, though, gonna have to flash.
Nicely done. Flash for flash, and the follow from Blue means first blood for Dignitas.
You're welcome, Blue. Ahri gets the spotlight, and Ahri gets the kill. Inspired, able to flash in time. Doesn't get rooted out of duration there from Impact. Impact walking around as this support, level 4, biggest thing.
The reason I pointed this out at the beginning of the game is because when you opt into this strategy, if you hit 20, 25 minutes and this hasn't brought you anything, all of a sudden they have a top laner and you don't. So I need to see Evil Geniuses move something forward.
See, and here's the thing. Look at how much Impact is investing in value items. Yes, you always do the support item for the extra gold generation, but he's also picked up a Dark Seal for himself, which for AP champions and anybody with AP ratios is an extremely efficient item. Not if you die all the time, and so it's gonna have to work on that a little bit. Only death in the game, but there is going to be a lot of value provided to the team. The speed up for the carries of Olaf, Corki, and Jinx will be a very big influence later on. And Renekton should have a harder time team fighting as the game goes on. But right now, Renekton is the god in the game. FakeGod is actually
real god.
Real god. Lizard God. And Lizard God's priority should be able to secure them objectives. He's currently recalling, not heading over to this Rift Trail that his jungler has started up, though, so EG will just push them right out. Might even fully reset on the Patience.
And one thing that I like to talk about, too, a little bit is we're seeing a lot more Jinx scouting rockets in modern-day League of Legends than I feel like we used to see. Super Mega Death rockets just get shot off all the time just to see if something is going down. That rocket that originally saw Dignitas going after that just sort of dissuades them from going any further, lets EG know. We saw earlier EG tried to invade the jungle as well, but Biofrost's flash got him out of trouble there. EG still trying to contest for these camps, trying to fight over every possible thing they can. They know they have the extra man. They know they have this roam control. Down here in bottom, Danny will just be left next to the turret, pushing that wave up, clearing everything out, while both his normal support and his bonus support hang out with Inspired, prowling around in that jungle.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So EG, they commit several resources towards the top side, knowing that they're still keeping Danny down on bottom side, before that, they did get a teleport out of FakeGod, but it's still, you know, unleashed early teleport, so not a huge win there. But in keeping Danny bottom side and forcing Neo and Biofrost to 5 commit up to the top side, they did let Danny get his own turret plates here as Jinx down on the bottom side in payment for the Rift Herald, and sets them up with bottom side river control where they could have left some deeper wards if they had been able to purchase first, but Dignitas don't know that they did not have wards to leave behind their jungle here leading up to the dragon. They just know that they had to give up control of their red quadrant of the jungle, which makes it a dangerous retake, and you have to be much more cautious, you know, sweeping through the brush as you're moving through.
And FakeGod just got the second turret top lane at 10 minutes and 11 seconds into the game. That is a very fast second turret here for the interior crocodile alligator, since we're talking about old outdated references.
Interior crocodile gets the interior turret and is gonna cash on in his call.
He got the second turret before the cull completed.
Yeah.
That's how fast he got the turrets. There's still 2 minions left on it.
And
He's got core drinker too.
We were also talking up his godlike power. Now we get to see it on the Rift, because for Dragon number 2, after taking that turret in such a timely manner, he can head down for this one.
Oh no, Impact dead again. River taking the credit on that one.
So, is this about the time where you type the top diff, Mr. Flowers, if you're trying to tilt the enemy team?
It might be, man. I'm not quite sure. This strategy is not panning out for Evil Geniuses in this game. The roams from Impact have not resulted in anything seriously meaningful. Meanwhile, FakeGod has got so much here in the top lane. The gold advantage is 3,000. The Drake is about to be picked up by the side of Dignitas, meaning Evil Geniuses can no longer aim for that early soul. It looks rough.
All right, I want to get ahead of this because I expect there to be some objective bounties occurring in this game.
Okay.
With the direction that Digger headed, but with the direction that Ahri's headed.
Blue, you're in trouble, buddy, and he's gone. Danny gets the first kill of the game for Evil Genius.
Might not be so true with the direction that Blue is headed back to the fountain, because EG are going to cash in on some money, getting his head plus the mid turret in exchange for the bottom push here.
Well, okay, I like the little emo flash as he gets bound up there, inspired stealing away those chickens. Mid lane turret will not fall all the way. It's kind of funny because we were talking about a tier 2 turret falling earlier, but the game is still 2 minutes away from plates even being gone, so it is still difficult to take down these tier 1s in a swift fashion. You can see there's 2 plates standing on both mid and bot turret for Dig. Still 4 up there on that top side, because it's hard to put damage on plates when nobody's in the lane, Mr.
That does make it a wee bit more difficult. Now, also, we gotta, you know, focus back in on these objective bounties, because this game is Dignitas having a bit more pressure as far as dealing with the late game scaling of having Karma boosting up, you know, Corki and Jinx here, and Dig having a lot more early priority. So this gold advantage that they have now, they do need to leverage it to push the game forward. Caitlyn, again, was taking it down a bit in her scaling as well. So the later options, the damage outs for Dignitas, are not really there in this setup, and they are going to have to worry about acquiring the objective bounty themselves, in addition to being boosted by, yes, low CS impact, Karma roaming top, and dying a bunch. So if you make a mistake, if you get picked out and chased down in the wrong position, then you're going to give up a lot to the enemy team, because this EG team will have a very strong, you know, 5-on-5 capabilities. That's why they need to leverage super strong Renekton at the moment and Ahri's pick potential.
Well, here we go. They might be looking for it in mid lane. Vulcan shows up, though, so they know that the dive is pretty risky. Still 15 seconds left on those turret plates, too, so they're not going to be able to do a whole lot else here. 3 minutes away from the Drake, so nothing to fight for here in the bottom side river. They will continue moving into enemy territory, taking over this Evil Geniuses jungle. You can see right there, there's one ward from EG, but it's currently being disabled by a control ward from the side of Dignitas, so they're blind in this bottom half of their own jungle as the pressure continues to be applied here mid lane. Binding's not going to find Danny, but the wave gets cleared.
Yep, turning out the lights, step number 1 for them here. Trying to deny the easier rotation between the mid and bottom side for the Evil Geniuses, because the Evil Geniuses just trying to acquire gold onto the Corki and onto the Jinx at this moment. That's their pathway to victory here. Main goals for them, trying to keep up the income of these 2 carries. And Dignitas are doing a pretty good job of making the rest of the map more dangerous and squishing in on the sides of EG territory to try and deny them those possible avenues of gold income. Need to get right back out after the reset though, so that they can deny the top side spawn here of Rift Herald number 2 and keep things moving in their direction. Rift Herald number 2 actually usually not the biggest of priority, but when you are thinking, oh, we might be proccing objective bounties in this game, and we need to keep taking turrets in a timely manner, all of a sudden, that's exactly what the doctor orders.
Well, here we go. Let's see exactly how they're going to play around it here. Dignitas has total control over the area right now. Inspired just waiting on his own chicken camp to spawn. And it looks like Dignitas will be happily taking this one without any sort of a fuss. That just means that Evil Geniuses will have to prepare to survive a Rift Herald charge here. Mid lane tier 1 turret, still mostly healthy, but Rift Herald will obviously be able to change that very swiftly if they decide that's where they want to use it. There's not really anywhere you can use it top lane. I don't think they're going all the way to the inhib turret. Bottom lane, you could also try to get that extra juicy money that is on those tier 2 turrets. Now it's been in the game for a while at this point. But man, 45 seconds here on the Drake. Already said last time, Evil Genius' early soul stacking plan got ruined, so there's not any huge pressure on Dig to grab this next one. But it's not like there's a reason for them not to. They're 3,500 gold ahead. They're fine taking fights in open ground.
Yeah, they actually are the ones that need to control all these neutral objectives while they have the priority. And so they can try and continue to control this vision and open up these pockets for Blue to try and pick people off. You know, he's level 11 now, rank 2 in the ultimate. Sork Shoes and Ludens ready to go. So needs to start stacking up, you know, some picks to get his Dark Seal going, because we mentioned some of the, you know, comparisons of CS in this game. The Olaf also massively outpacing the Xin Zhao, as should be if you're just, you know, pure farming. And there are some opportunities there for EG as long as they just keep on telling themselves, we're scaling for late, we're going to focus on
DW, we scale.
Don't worry. Possibly the most effective line to type in solo queue. There are not very many effective lines.
That's the most effective line to type if you want me to mute you. That's like a meme
Really?
line.
Don't worry, we're scaling?
No, because usually the guy saying it is a 0-7 Vayne. I'm like, no, Vayne, you're not scaling. That's not what's happening right now.
All right, well, there's no winning then. Just don't type anything to Flowers, because he's either going to think that you are being facetious, or he's going to, you know, think that you are insulting him. So there's no good way to talk to him.
The best way to communicate is to play better. That will make me have faith in you.
Actually, the most effective line is, an enemy has been slain.
Yes, that one, I love reading that one. I'll read a whole book of those. Just give me that all day long.
I'm gonna actually try and cheese it and just type that in chat from now on. Even if they're like, oh, you need to gank bottom more. And I'm just like, what, didn't you read chat?
Just has been Kobe has claimed the 700 bounty on enemy Jinx. That's all you gotta do.
Manifest.
But now we've got a mid lane tier 1 turret down, the 4th turret of the game that Dignitas has taken. That gold lead up above 4,000 gold. Continuing to move forward, the lead keeps building. At 18 minutes, we're at 4,000 gold. Where does this gold lead need to be, Kobe, for you to feel comfortable? Because you've been talking about the scaling of Corki, talking about the scaling of Jinx. What's kind of the, okay, they're not going to scale up to survive this point for you?
I like looking at it in actual items in inventory.
Okay.
And an extra item for the carries is usually my big break point. Okay. Ahri very slippery here, so is going to be able to get away. But you do hit that point around the 5 and 6K gold. You should feel pretty comfortable with snowballing. But again, that's also where you're going to be proccing objective bounties, and you have to worry about this more tenuous, if we make a mistake, then Jinx gets excited, they get a bunch of kills, then they can also cash in on objective bounties, and they can win. So this EG team does have a fearsome, you know, late game possibility, and it's much more pressure here on Dig to actually finish this game out by controlling the, you know, vision through their jungle, as well as leading up to these objectives, because they do have some good pick possibilities. It's just going to be a little bit tenuous once they get to the 5-on-5, well, if it's a bit more even.
We've got the Randuin's done. Second fully completed item here on FakeGod. You're talking about being a full item ahead. Well, FakeGod's about 2 full items ahead because impacts inventory, man.
Do these ones count here?
Impact's inventory, man. What do we have here, Mr. Kobe? We've got a nice pair of red shoes, glowing radioactive rock, shiny red rock, other blue rock, and a ring pop.
So he's currently 5 times the CS. Can we go for 8? His close. Let's get up to 6, 7. You know, work your way up. We've got to create the new horizons.
Okay, an 8 times horizon will be a FakeGod horizon if he can achieve it.
That would be
if
massive.
he can achieve it. But plenty of time to go still before we see that one.
6 is going to be easy to do.
I think we'll get there all right. We'll get there all right. You can see in the inventory here for Inspired as well, his second item going for the Death's Dance, I believe. Very, very powerful stuff against those AD champions. The only real AP threat here is the Ahri. Obviously, Lux does some magic damage, but she's a support.
And they also buffed it on this patch 12.3, which we just changed to be able to reduce magic damage as well, increase the cost by 200 gold. Yeah, so it's a little bit more expensive, and they reduced it down to 30% delay for melee champions. But now having the possibility of working against both damage types makes it feel really good. Sometimes I usually push it to, you know, third item pickup, but can be, especially if you have an enchanter on your team, a very valuable, you know, item 2 pickup here, and it looks like that could be the direction you want to go for, because it lets you live that dream of being the sustained carries there.
Drain tanking a team fight.
Exactly.
And destroying everyone.
That is the success meter for an Olaf.
Yeah. If you can drain tank, if you can force everyone else into Valhalla while you're still standing there with 100 HP, Olaf did his job. But we've got 25 seconds until that next Drake spawns. For Dig, this will be Soul Point. There were some on my way pings. You can see more of them right now coming out, and those are blue pings, my friends. Those are from Dignitas saying we need to get down to the river. We need to be ready to go. We are still in control of the game. Let's continue this. Vulcan's trying to hang out nearby, just putting some defensive vision here in their own jungle. They know Dignitas is going to be looking for this, so it's too risky for Vulcan to go any further forward on his own. Traps being set up here by Neo. You love this from a Caitlyn composition. It affords you so much more control over these neutral scenarios.
Exactly. Soul Point here going to be big for Dignitas. I don't think, especially with no package here for EG, they should risk anything. Again, it's that same line, Flowers. We keep chanting it over and over. We're scaling for late. We're scaling for late. Don't risk it on a Soul Point Dragon fight. You've got one more to make your move, and you really just need that one big, you know, one team fight there for EG. So they are being patient. They're biding their time. Wait till you get your Muramana transformation on Corki. Wait until you get your Ludens upgraded there onto Corki as well.
Yep.
Then you can fish around for your big, you know, harassment rockets to come through, and you have the possibilities of taking over that team fight. That Death Dance does come in for Inspired. We'll see if it does let him live the Viking dream, or if he will actually go to Valhalla and Dignitas will win the game.
So, let me ask you this. What do we want to see here from Dignitas? This is a 3-kill game in 23 minutes. We're not seeing a lot of heavy action.
I think there needs to be more immediacy in their transition of pressure to Baron. Because if you're waiting the entire 4 minutes just until next fight over the Soul, then guess what? Corki is going to have the Ludens. He's already got it. His Muramana will be transformed. Might even be able to upgrade his Hex Drinker. Which also got buffed on this patch, by the way. So it's going to have a lot more safety from those Ahri picks. So I think they need to have a bit more immediacy on transferring over to Baron and try and force EG into some bad scenarios where maybe they can fish around, get a pick, you know, Ahri ultimate into Charm or Lux Bindings, fishing around. At least make EG sweat while they're trying to get rich. EG are not sweating at all. They're calmly picking up all this gold off the ground. It just keeps on funneling in down through the lanes. They've even kept up farming their jungle efficiently. So this is the mark of the really, really good teams that can execute on some of the more difficult strategies where you have to pressure your leads, is can you close in on the pressure earlier before EG have had ample time to farm up for the possibility of their comeback team fight. And look at this. They're moving right in, unperturbed, easily take out a bunch of this vision from Dignitas, while, you know, FakeGod is trying to push the bottom side and then, what, moves into the jungle for, like, a Gromp or something?
Appears so. Yep, it's going to be a Gromp take from FakeGod. Also worth pointing out, because we're talking about that comeback team fight. We're talking about where EG will have to go for that. Last Whisper coming out for Danny here, so the third item is going to be the LDR. I like this a lot, considering the itemization in the front line there with the Randu and Zoman, plated steel caps on the Renekton. You can't just walk past Fed Renekton that had no lane opponent. He knows he's going to have to go through that, and he's building the right items to accomplish that goal most efficiently.
Yeah. They're going to need some armor penetration. Also wants an Infinity Edge, but you got to choose. You only get one, so...
Infinity Edge is flashier. It makes you feel cooler with massive crits, but LDR just going to be more effective at cutting through those meatballs there on the front line. Shadow Flame completed here as the second full item for Blue. You've also got Bloodthirster second for Neo's Caitlyn. This has become so popular, especially in the face of this incredibly powerful poke from champions like Corki. Makes it so one rocket doesn't send you back to base.
Yeah. Build up your shield while you're pushing up, so you'll have some safety from the initial rockets, and if one of them does land, then you also have sustain for trying to sustain back up after some of the, those unfortunate rockets.
Exactly. The unlucky rocket.
Honestly, though, I want to see how much they will do to Renekton, because you're talking about all this armor stacking for FakeGod. If they do come to the 5-on-5, and they have enough time for Jojo to fire off a bunch at FakeGod, there is... no magic resistance there, so it actually might even be effective trying to pelt some of this magic damage into the front line to soften him up first. Is going to be one of the big things there for EG. Can they poke effectively with Jinx W and Corki rockets a little bit beforehand? Because, as you said, it's so beneficial for the Caitlyn Lux to get to an objective early, set up your traps, and throw out your bindings.
Well, you were talking earlier when we first got done with that last dragon, and I asked you the question, what do we need to see here? And you were talking about, hey, apply some pressure before we get to that fight because they're going to have items. We're less than a minute away now. LDR is now complete on the Jinx. Corki just completed Maw of Malmortius. We are at 3-item power spikes on both the hyper carries for EG. Impact finally has his first item. Vulcan moving in. Evil Genius is seeing if they can find someone. Forcing the flash out of River here. Neo going to continue backing it up here in mid lane. Does not want to be very close to those EG players.
It begins, Flowers.
Okay.
The only pressure that they've mounted is my blood pressure here, because the comeback is looming. This 5,000 gold lead has not increased. Multiple items now on the EG carries, and they get a very free summoner spell in Burning the Xin Flash. That can be very detrimental for your team fight here, leading up 10 seconds into the Dragon area. River already taken by River and the rest of Dignitas. See if they can actually retain control over this vision. Package picked up for Jojo. Rockets coming out. Level 16.
We're ready to go. Oh my goodness, there's what we're talking about. That one rocket. Biofrost lost a big chunk of HP. EG with control over the river. They are totally unafraid. Biofrost just died. Corki's a fair and balanced champion, by the way. Here goes Jojo dropping off the package delivery. Oh my goodness.
That is why you needed more immediacy after the previous drive. When you had the 4 minutes leading up and my blood pressure starts rising, you start having fever dreams.
Oh no,
it's this comeback
Corki's
fight.
coming. Where's he at?
The Corki rockets. I got hit in my bed. I'm getting hit up here on the caster tower, Flowers.
This summer, no one is safe. When the rockets start flying, the supports start dying. I'd watch that movie. That would scare the hell out of me. Anyway, that's the Drake Soul stopped. It's going to be 5 more minutes before Dignitas get to make another attempt, but they're not worried about that attempt right now. Instead, they will start up the Baron, but a Trinket is immediately there. Spotted it out. Evil geniuses know what's going on. If it's not a sneak, Dig's not going to get away with it. They cannot bear to do that while the Corki rockets are pouring in over the wall, so they have to back away.
And now they have realized. Biofrost has definitely realized. Dignitas, they were a little bit lackadaisical for far too long in the mid stages of this game. And EG were left to pick up gold off the ground. Corki now hit the 3-item power spike, so Jojo's feeling very active. You saw him, zoning multiple members in the entry into Dragon previously. Now they also don't have to worry so much about the split push because there's still some secondary towers left standing for EG. They've got ground to give as they try and force with their 5 members, which is where they're really strong and where they can bully the members of Dig off. The only hopes here for Dig are trying to find these picks. Lux binding with the increased range or Ahri jumping in. Now, they did change Ahri as well a little bit when we were talking about the spread of the damage.
Right.
You can still kill people without landing Charm because you'll still have a decent amount of damage. You don't need the damage amp on hitting Charm, but you actually can't hold any of these people in place without hitting it. So you still actually need the CC. So the game plan is still the same. Like you have to hit either the Charm or the Binding, or else you're not coming back in this game.
Okay, Laser's not going to find Danny there. Dignitas, honestly, Kobe, it's just felt like after Dignitas got that second turret top with Renekton at 10 minutes, even though they were in control of the game for so long, that kind of felt like the climax of their story for me. Was, oh my god, they got the top tier 2 turret!
Yeah.
And then that's...
my god, and then what happened?
Then you see the author's notes at the end of the book, like, hey, thanks to my loving family for helping me write this book, the end. And I'm just, where's the rest of the story? Where's the rest of what this was supposed to be? Because Dignitas have not done anything more with it, and Evil Geniuses now feels confident to continue moving forward, to look for their own plays and force their own flashes.
How many books or TV series or movies have you seen the first one and just be like, oh my god, this is so good, I can't wait for the sequel, and then the sequel drops and you're like,
wow,
WTF, mate?
I really could have waited for that.
Is this Matrix 3? What's going on here?
Ooh.
Nothing is happening in Matrix 3. They had all the cool changes. All of the, well, we don't want to spoil what's it, like 15 years old now movie?
There's a lot of stuff that's like, oh man, it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, there's your total gold on the side of the screen. The 2 richest players in the game just so happen to be the 2 hyper carries for Evil Geniuses. Kobe, this is looking disastrous for the Dignitas boys.
Who could have seen this coming? Unfortunate now situation for Dig. All right. We gotta play hard mode now, because you can't think about the past. You know, if you dwell on the past and you dwell on failures, then you're never gonna get anywhere. You gotta deal with the present and how can we get out of this situation. Yes, we may only have a 10-15% chance now, but you're gonna have to create some pockets of fog of war, cause some chaos. So go split push, force someone to answer you. You know that EG want to play as 5, so just send the Ahri with, you know, Renekton trailing or something. Maybe you can, or maybe the Renekton showing and the Ahri trailing, so you can try and have a surprise play.
Some sort of bamboozle.
Exactly. You're going to have to bamboozle because no straight up trade is going to be in your favor.
Well, we've got 30 seconds until the next Drake spawns. It will be Soul if Dignitas are able to take or steal it. However, it'll bring EG to Soul Point if they grab it, and then the pressure will be on Dig 5 minutes from now. You remember back when I said we've had 3 kills in 23 minutes? Well, now we've had 4 kills in 32 minutes. So 9 more minutes, 1 more kill.
Yeah.
Still a slow-paced game.
I mean, this is kind of what's also cool about League of Legends. You know, we're saying all this and all this pressure when there is still a 4,500 gold lead. And what you get to trade is Baron pressure for Soul pressure. EG don't have vision on either of them at the moment, but they've got the power of 5 people being able to push you off. So this is where Dignitas can throw that extra wild card into the game. You've got an extra objective!
Vulcan with the flash Q, but Blue's gonna get away. River now in the middle of everybody else. Zonya's gonna keep him alive, but Blue's grabbing the kill on Vulcan, and River's gonna die in retaliation. 1 for 1, but critically, it's the Dignitas jungler who is dead. Neo and Danny trade auto attacks back and forth. Ace in the hole is gonna find Danny. Laser will not hit the target. Blue getting himself back away with about half HP left. Super Mega Death Rocket not finding him either. Danny with plenty of shields, plenty of support here from Impact. Dignitas still trying to challenge here for the Drake. Remember, they have no jungler. If the Drake is taken low, this should be a guaranteed secure for Inspired. No Ragnarok left, but it doesn't really matter. This won't be that big of a deal anyway. FakeGod goes in, Jojo goes out. Rockets flying out here. Drake taken low, secured by Inspired. Evil Geniuses, they're on Soul Point now too. We get a 1-for-1 trade and an objective for EG.
Team Rocket strikes again, Flowers. They've got the Jinx Rockets, the Corki Rockets, all finding purchase onto Dignitas members. And then what did Dig have to say about it? A flash Renekton stun that immediately you're gonna have to slice and dice back out afterwards. It just becomes so difficult to manage these fights. And praise the Vulcan here. Flashes on Vulcan. As soon as Blue is in range, flashes on him, gets the engage. Blue's now at 50%, so even though Vulcan goes down, you know, River exchanged initiations there by jumping in on the Xin and ulting. Maybe if you retcon that and you go back as a team trying to review, they should have just left with the disengage from blue, and he had gotten out, and maybe they could have kited into a situation and still got a 1-for-0.
River having to use the ulti there just to survive, does the same thing with his flash, and neither one of them means a damn thing. River's out of the picture. Kobe, I smell something. That smells like Baron, my friend.
what does Baron smell like? Should we get...
Smells like victory. What do you think it smells like? That's what you take to win the game after you take down the enemy jungler. Now Dignitas have to try to answer this, have to try to defend this, but they can't get anywhere close. EG gets the pick they need, and they get the reward. Baron, 35 minutes in.
I feel like it's got a little sweet, tangy after smell there. You know, maybe a little coconut, little mango.
You know what it is?
Tropical.
Lulu, dude. When Lulu says that tasted purple, that's Baron. Baron tastes like purple.
It's all coming together. Well, guess what? Danny and EG are wearing purple. That's the perfect colors for this squad. They've fully scaled up. The chanting all worked. We farm for late. We farm for late. Guess what? They made it, Flowers.
Scaled, man.
If someone types that to you and you don't believe them, they're going to point you to this VOD and say, hey, I'm not insulting you, Flowers. I'm not being sarcastic. I am not being facetious. I truly believe that we scale. We are EG.
In the scaling. Okay. All right. Well, Evil Genius's evil plan is working out beautifully. 2.5 minutes left until the Drake. It was soul point for the past couple of them for Dig. EG have responded with 2 of their own. The next one must be the soul, one way or the other, and pretty much everything is leaning EG right now. Jojo's hanging out nearby over the wall, not grouped up with the rest of everybody else directly, still within range though to support with the rockets. Inspired is split pushing down bottom, just using the extra pressure from the Baron there. The remaining 4 players not too worried about getting engaged here in mid. That lead for Dignitas. It is still a 2,500 gold lead for Dig, but the state of the game and the pace of things would not tell you that.
Your money's no good here. They're rolling up, rolling up to the Evil Geniuses store and getting turned around at the door. You can go window shopping. That's about it.
Oh, there's the ulti for ulti trade. Blue and Vulcan gonna swap those back and forth. Not really a big deal. As Danny goes in with a Gale Force. 2 shots. That was a zap plus an auto attack on Biofrost.
Lucky for Bao, Danny doesn't have his ultimate ready, or another rocket would be flying his way. But I mean, he sent the message there, and the message is, I can also 2-shot you. You've died at the hands of Jojo already, but so can I. And the Baron rewards will continue to flow in and fill the coffers of the EG squad.
There you go. Top lane tier 1 turret finally down. That was EG's 3rd turret of the game. They have only taken that much. They had not removed all of those outer turret pieces yet, just because they've been in defense mode for so long. We're seeing these scaled up carries. We're seeing the power of the scaling, but it's not been a state of control for them throughout that big first chunk of the game that honestly, Kobe, just feels like a decade ago now.
And we are getting, I feel kind of bad because we prefaced the match here with the possibilities of, you know, Dignitas Party Bus and what is going to be the journey over this season. This game, they invested really heavily in their champ select in early game. Renekton early game, Caitlyn Lux early game, Xin Zhao is kind of more of a bridge between the two, but a lot of pressure on the early game, and then not being able to actually manage that, which is more difficult, to be fair, to push ahead, the mid stages lead and actually end the game versus this EG squad. But now they're in the situation where they kind of missed a big window earlier that they had to jump through.
Well, now it's time for the Drake Soul, Kobe. We've got the Ahri top lane. Blue is split pushing there.
Episode 7.
But it's EG on the Drake. They're saying, all right, we'll trade that. We don't care. Inhibitors can respawn. The Drake goes over to EG. The Soul goes over to EG. Jojo and Vulcan are back inside the base protecting the inhib. Jojo will scare Blue away. Yes, they lose the tier 3 turret, but they don't lose the inhib itself. They secure the Soul. EG are happy with that trade.
And I like the attempts here from Dig, because they know they're outgunned, so they're trying to force that hard split push, create that chaos.
Well, we've got a stun onto Leona, and that does about as much as you would expect it to do. Vulcan losing barely any HP. The Mountain Shield doing plenty of work there, just minimizing any of that damage they would take. And I'm struggling, my friend, to find really what is the hope for Dignitas at this point, barring a major error from EG, because it just feels like they're suffocated in their decision-making.
Yeah, the hope is all just hope. It's not really based in science or fact at this point, you know, and that's fine sometimes, you know. Placebo effect also is very strong. 15 to 20%, you can have real changes. So just believe in yourself, Flowers. Belief is a strong tool.
Okay, so Dignitas' only hope is some anime BS protagonist.
Yeah, I mean, placebo effect.
I gotta
real,
believe
so.
in myself. I believe in myself.
Honestly, though, my question to you is anyone gonna remember the beginning of this game when Impact kept getting picked off and we were flaming?
That's what I was saying, is the first part of this game feels like a decade ago because it was like, holy moly, man, FakeGod got rid of the second turret before he cashed in his call. Impact's randomly dying here in the river, getting caught out. This looks like doom and gloom. And then, no, it wasn't. It started off looking like some horror movie because we had spooky, scary skeletons and stuff, and then you realize it's Nightmare Before Christmas. Jack Skellington's wearing a beard and giving out presents. Everybody's happy. Evil Geniuses is loving the state of things right now.
Maybe the only unhappy one is Impact, because we just reminded everyone that he had a couple early ins.
No, dude, that would make me even happier, because that just means that it's like, yeah, I died early, so
Yeah,
what? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, what?
So what? Doesn't matter. Maybe a less good player, that would matter.
I
Not for
like
Impact.
that. Impact is actually setting expectations very low so that people won't get mad. Well, here we go. Maybe we have a chase down.
A little bit of chunk onto Neo there. River tries to get away. Axe not going to chase him all the way through. EG try to make something happen there, but a disengage coming out from Dig. It will cost the heal of Biofrost, the flash of River. Of course, let's see if anything else happens off the back. Doesn't look like it. Dignitas just continuing to play defense as Ahri continues to split. It'll be blue in the bottom lane this time.
Yep, split is the hope.
Oh, but we're not done yet. FakeGod taking half his HP and damage. River looking to maybe find the knock-up here onto Impact, but only gets Q3 onto the minion. Blue and Jojo still here in the bottom lane. No, don't do this now! Okay.
Time for a deep breather. You know, we're getting a little off the...
Twitch.tv/LCS is not responsible for anything related to education or the grades you may or may not receive in your educational courses. Thank you.
Hey,
we're back in the game! Hell yeah. All right. Now, let's see what we've got with EG going over to the Baron, as it'll be Dignitas shooting off the laser, trying to answer. Baron dropping somewhat swiftly, but not drastically, down to 5,000, 4,000. They're taking a low. They're going to burst it down before Dig can get in position. River's going to get slowed up there. Remember, no flash left in the Dignitas jungler. Blue has been left alone in the bottom lane, split pushing. Dignitas will send Jojo back to deal with EG will send Jojo back to deal with Dignitas' mid laner. Danny separated from the rest of EG. He'll try to walk back to the safety of his team.
This could be the chance. Dig gotta take this
isolated.
one.
Okay, River's gonna find him, but now River's alone. No backup means no shot. EG are just fine.
Those scrambles are the only thing that really pump blood back into your veins when you're this far behind. You see the AD carry running by themselves up the river. You gotta scramble on that, you know, attempt up at an opportunity. They aren't able to find anything there, so they're gonna have to reset and get back into base. But those openings are what can breathe life and excitement back into one of these situations, you know, going on that chase. Live a little, Flowers. Take a blast cone forward. See if you can get an AD carry pick.
Well, they're continuing to pressure the side lanes. FakeGod got top lane shoved up. Blue was getting bottom lane shoved up. Dignitas is doing whatever they can to avoid these 5v5s like you're talking about. But it's still EG that aren't really feeling any meaningful pressure from it. Again, the inhibitors themselves are still standing, even if the tier 3 turrets fall. Dig has to get something more than this.
I don't think EG have felt meaningful pressure since the second time that Impact died.
I would concur.
Since then, they've been hard chilling. What's the meme? They've been Bing chilling.
Bing chilling.
They've been Bing chilling over here.
Just shout out to John Cena. He follows me on Twitter.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, John Cena gang. Okay.
Is he one of those ones that just follows like 20,000
We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to worry about the fact that he follows 400,000 people. We're special. We are
snowflakes.
Special boys. All right? We are.
Nice.
We stand out of the crowd. Anyway, Evil Geniuses currently have about 45 seconds until it's Elder Drake time. They have secured the last 1, 2, 3 Drakes in a row. I expect them to do the same here at this Elder. You can see Blue is marching up top lane for the Dignitas side. He has his teleport to join up with the fight if he wants to. But man, Dignitas, the idea of a 5v5 for this Elder Drake is so frightening, especially when Jojo has package.
Or is it exciting?
If you're Dignitas, no, it's frightening.
It's about how you react to stress, though, Flowers. You know, if you just reframe how you view stress, you can turn it into an exciting moment because no one expects you to win. So
this sounds like what I would write in that Courier newspaper.
I'm trying to come up with you know, Dignitas Party Bus Anthem.
Okay, we're Party Bus Anthem. All right, Party Bus Anthem is a go, but Evil Geniuses are just looking for that inhibitor turret instead. Blue's still split pushing there in the top lane. FakeGod just might die in bottom if he's not careful. Blue continuing the split here in the picture-in-picture. Are we going to get a base race? I don't think we're going to get a base race. Baron expires, so they don't have empowered recalls anymore to get back. Looks like we'll get an inhibitor trade. Blue will take the top lane in hit. Evil Geniuses getting everybody back. They want to make sure that whoever they send can at least complete their back. Blue is on to Nexus turrets, my friend. EG has not successfully recalled anyone. The Nexus turrets are falling. Jojo made it back. Blue now has to deal with the enemy mid laner as FakeGod's going to be taken low and taken down here on the bot side. Inspired about to die now as well with 2 different Guardian Angels coming up and bringing people back. Dignitas is losing the entire army. Dignitas has lost every single man here in the bottom lane. Blue cannot get through Jojo and his wave clear here on the top side. They got both Nexus turrets, but that's it. Blue has to make some sort of a hero play, but you're not going to kill Corki through Maw. Not like that. I expected something from Dignitas. They went for the play at the end. They tried to get the split push, but EG outmaneuvered in the 4v4, and EG will take down Dignitas 46 minutes in.
Hero play of the game, Flowers, is getting off a recall. Hero play by Jojo getting his recall off is the biggest moment here for Evil Geniuses. Whoa, that was an exciting end, honestly.
Yeah, I love the fact that Dignitas went for that because they were just going to bleed out die if they tried to 5v5. It wasn't going to work. They got both Nexus turrets. It was dangerous. It looked like they might have been able to stop all the backs, but just one was one too many. Jojo got back there. He was able to keep things going. Dignitas showed that they could get things rolling early, but it was just they ran out of gas there in the mid game. We didn't actually see that lead go anywhere.
That was the problem. They didn't fill up the tank this weekend.
The party bus didn't have enough gas in it, so they weren't able to gun it down the highway when they had the lead. The Corki scaled up, the Jinx scaled up.
It was all loaded up. They've got all the drinks, they've got all the lights, they have everything set up in the party bus, but no gas.
No gas in the party bus means an end to Dignitas' undefeated record here in regular season. They'll be a 2-1 now. Evil Geniuses also going to be sitting at 2-1. And hey, despite the fact that it looked like a pretty bad start for the Smite support top strategy this time around from Evil Geniuses, I'm not going to lie, I was not impressed. It looked like they weren't able to get big enough advantages early. 2 deaths from impact. But then it's just, hey guys, I'll say it. Don't worry, we scale. And they were just able to sit back and let it go. Evil Geniuses bring it back. They'll defeat Dignitas. So now we're going to be joining the Tigress and Impact for our